Welcome along, and everybody, to the Red Card Radio News episode. This is hopefully your one-stop shop, the one place you need to come for news in and relating to the English Premier League. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That guy's Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. So hello. How are we doing today, guys? What's going on?
Good.
You're not
fantastic.
You're not fantastic anymore, Brad.
This is the first.
We our European matches were last week, so we just gotta wait to see who we play next. So
This is the first episode in about 5. He hasn't been fantastic.
I know. I'm a little worried. We should check on him. Should get
If anybody's in the Charlotte region, please comment below so you can go check on Brad.
Yeah, Joel, we need you to go do a welfare check on Brad. Yeah. All right. So, what we got on offer for you guys today, what we're talking about tonight, we're going to hit the comments from our episodes from last week. Got 2 that we want to jump into. As Sean said last night, and if you haven't, or yesterday, I should say, if you haven't seen yesterday's episode, you should check that out, because Sean mentioned something about a Green Bay football team. I'm not sure what part of England Green Bay is in, but we'll have to figure that part out.
Find out.
Yeah,
you're gonna find out.
Yeah, we'll get some strong geography here for Green Bay.
Yeah, maybe it's a Midlands team. I'm not sure.
It is definitely a Midlands team.
Got it. Then the Saudi Grand Prix is this weekend, so we got some F1 things to talk about, and then we're gonna lion's share of our conversation. I assume it's gonna be the lion's share. It's gonna be about European competitions, Champions League, Europa League, the ever important UEFA Conference League. And I swear someone told me earlier that one of you guys has trivia. Right? Is there trivia?
I don't know.
Maybe there'll be trivia.
I can find trivia by the end of it.
You had a trivia about something that you and I were talking about before the episodes, but I can't remember what it is anymore. That we should have talked about this off air.
I got it. I'll get Brad with it.
Oh,
well, I know it off the top of my head.
Perfect.
Oh no.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
So
probably get it wrong.
If you're new here, if you're just stumbling across us and you are blown away by how professionally organized this podcast is, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell if you're on one of the podcast sites. If you could hit it with a follow, 5-star review if your platform so allows it. Drop a comment on YouTube, share it with a friend, put it on Twitter, something like that. Make a TikTok about it. I'm not sure. Do whatever. Post it on the gram, as Brad would say. All those things really do help us out, and we really appreciate all those things. All right, shameless begging out of the way. Let's get into the comments for last week. So both of these comments are in relation to the Chelsea Dortmund game, the second leg of the Chelsea Dortmund Champions League tie that I will remind you that Chelsea won that game 2-0,
yes,
won the tie 2-1 over the course of 2 matches. Okay.
Hey guys, guess what? I feel fantastic now.
All right. So Jimmy's comment. Brad isn't wrong really. Khan should have been sent off. This Amir Khan. I said live when watching that's a penalty. We were very fortunate. So Jimmy is a Dortmund fan when it comes to German football, and so he agrees with you that it was a red card on Khan, and that.
Yep. I'll wait for your next comment before I.
So Will, this is Will's comment in relation to the penalty conversation that we had about João Felix and fainting and consistent run up to the ball, all this stuff, and he quotes you because Brad said, this is a quote from Will, he's attributing to Brad. He said, "You got to wait until the ball hits, just like a free throw." So in basketball, when you shoot a free throw, the player shoots it, player shoots it, and the players have to wait. I don't even think that's true. I don't think that's true in the NBA. I think once the ball's released in the NBA, you can go in. I think that's a college rule. I'm not sure.
It is. No, it is as soon as the ball is released from the hand
in the NBA, right?
It's all basketball from youth on.
No, in youth, and in college and high school, you have to hit the rim first before you can go into the lane on a free throw.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure in the NBA. Anyway, Will's comment is, "LOL." Except they actually enforce the no fainting rule on free throws, even in the notoriously lax NBA. So Will's point is that they enforce the rules. They enforce that rule on not on getting in the lane too quickly in the NBA. Unlike, and the NBA is terrible about being like they let travels get away. People get away with travels, double dribbles,
Accepts.
yeah. Like
Palming.
all kinds of stuff that they don't call in the NBA that they let people get away with. But that's what they enforce. So, what say you, Brad? You apparently have thoughts.
So what Jimmy said is that we deserved 2 penalties. And Chelsea got 2 penalties.
Yes.
So, Will, even though I may have been wrong about waiting for the ball to hit, I don't know. I got to look at the rules. We'll see if I was wrong or not. Still deserve 2 penalties. So, I don't have any problem with this anymore. That's from a Dortmund fan, that we deserve 2 penalties.
That's fine, but it is what it is. Yeah, I disagree, but whatever. I disagreed last week. If you're curious about my thoughts on it, you can go back to last week's news episode, and it's all there for you in 1080p on YouTube for you, and you can hear my very well made points, and you can hear Brad complaining about something in some sort of like childish way. But my thoughts were really well created, and I expressed them very eloquently. I don't know what Brad did. Okay,
sure.
So I'm reading here on our rundown. It says American footy, Green Bay. What am I supposed to take from that?
I've got my tinfoil helmet has been in the fridge.
Okay.
Since yesterday. It is nice and cold. It is fitting right on the side of my head.
Okay.
The Aaron Rodgers saga. I have inside information to know that this is true.
Is this
Aaron Rodgers.
Sean Stradamus moment or
Sean Stradamus? I'm looking right into the camera.
Uh-oh.
I have seen the future. Aaron Rodgers, for the last 5 years in a row, has begged the Packers front office to please get me some new help at the skill position. Just anything. Just give me a running back. They gave him running backs. Give me some receivers. Nope, we're drafting them in the 3rd round. Good luck. We got a guy from Fresno State we drafted in the 6th. Make him a pro bowler. Like, that's what they're doing to him. Romeo Dobbs. Like they're giving him no help. No help. And so Aaron Rodgers playing 3D chess as he does. This is what he thought up while he was in that hobbit hole smoking that paella for 4 days.
Okay,
this is what he came up with.
Hold on, I need editorial note. It was just a darkness retreat. There was no paella this time. This time
not confirmed. Not confirmed.
No, it was confirmed today. That's what he said today on McAfee's show.
Okay, all right. Confirmed. No paella. Anyways, when he was in that darkness hole, he figured out, I got it. I am going to completely convince the Jets that I am coming to you on a trade. Get them to sign all of my receivers that I have. They are trying to get Lazard. They are trying to get Cobb. They're trying to get the tight end Mercedes Lewis. They're going to sign all those people. And then he's going to go back swoosh to Green Bay and be like, now you have to get me new receivers because all of them are in New York.
You know what Green Bay's going to do?
Draft another couple of them in the 6th round.
It'd be the 4th round this time, yeah.
They're going to draft some guy out of Southeast Missouri State nobody's ever heard of.
So he had some interesting Aaron Rodgers had interesting comments today on the Pat McAfee show. That's all on YouTube, I think, if you want to check it out. It was an interesting interview. Apparently he was like pretty convinced he was going to retire when he went into the darkness retreat. And then he decided that he wanted to come back. And when he left for the summer, he thought, or left at the end of the offseason, that he got the feeling from the Packers that it was like, hey, take as much time as you need. Let us know when you've decided. And then when he got out of his darkness retreat, it seemed like he felt like something had changed and that they had been shopping him and that they had already decided to move on. And so I think he felt like that the Packers kind of initiated that. It was an interesting interview.
Well, from my experience of being a longtime Packers fan, I will sum this up of how I feel about the Packers in their drafting is that number one, they've been good for about 40 years now.
That's
Straight.
true. That's true.
Since like 1990, when they acquired Brett Favre. They've been good for 40 years. 30 years, sorry. Bad math. 30 straight years, which is unheard of in the NFL.
Like, I'm not that old yet. Holy
It's
So,
coming.
first of all, I trust him. But second of all through high school, all through college, I would be like, oh, first round pick. Let me check out the mock drafts. Let me see what we're going to get. Let me see what skill positions. I scour these things and look, and I'm like, all right, we got this person available, this person available. Then I realized maybe about 23, 24 that, nope, Green Bay is going to draft some. I'm an avid college football watcher. I know these players. I know the good ones, especially the ones that go in the first round. Green Bay every year is going to draft somebody I have never heard of. And it's going to be some white linebacker from Iowa.
Bro, that's the Washington Wizards and drafting a foreign player in the first round of the NBA draft.
It's just
the Spurs.
But
the Spurs actually hit on their players.
Except the difference is between the Wizards and the Packers is I just have to be like, all right, that player's going to be good. And then they do.
Yeah.
They are.
They are good. So
okay, so I have one final question about Aaron Rodgers. He made a claim today that he said, debatably, you could make a debate that I'm the greatest Packer to have ever played. There's a debate that could be had. Do you agree with that? Do you think he has a case?
The only argument you could have against that is Reggie White, and he didn't predominantly spend most of his career with Green Bay. That's the only argument you would have. Maybe if you go back like a Ray Nitschke, linebacker in the 60s.
Do you not think Brett Favre has a?
He is head and shoulders above Brett Favre. And shoulders above Brett Favre.
Bart Starr.
And that's my childhood idol.
Okay.
I'm not an idiot.
Look, I'm gonna leave this to you because you're the Packers.
I grew up wanting to be Brett Favre, and me and Brett Favre share a birthday, baby. That's my homie. Other than stealing money from the poor people to pay for other than the allegations he has right now, I don't want to be associated with that.
He used to be your homie.
He used to be my homie.
He's less of a homie
And then
now.
there was some dick pic situations. There's some allegations of stealing money from poor people in Mississippi. There's a lot of things going on with them.
What does Green Bay do to these quarterbacks that just drives them crazy? Because like Aaron Rodgers is losing it. Brett Favre lost it.
5 words. They draft receivers in the 5th round. That's what they do to draft.
All right.
That's what they do to draft quarterbacks insane.
Jimmy, since you're the only one who watches this podcast that cares about American football, I guess maybe no. Emily cares about hockey.
Yeah.
I can't think of any.
Don't watch. I think American football.
I think
Correct me if I'm wrong, Joel.
I'm willing to watch. I'm willing to watch American football, but I don't care about American football.
We can keep it moving. We've exhausted that one.
Let us know what you guys think about Aaron Rodgers. All right, so the Saudi Grand Prix. It's coming up this weekend. We had a week off after Bahrain.
The only reason it's relevant, right, is because we've made history.
Tell me.
This has to be the earliest that anyone has ever taken a grid penalty, right?
Give us some more. Give us more information, Sean.
So Charles Leclerc of Ferrari, is taking a 10-place grid penalty for exhausting his season's limit of power units, which is inexplicable.
On race 2.
This is in between qualifying on Friday.
Yeah.
And on Monday, they have decided that they have exhausted both of their power units, and they're going to have to take the grid penalty.
If everyone can remember, a very long time ago, it was 2 weekends ago in Bahrain, Leclerc did not finish the race because his car stopped working. His power unit died. And this was the second power unit already because he exchanged his initial power unit with the one that failed on him during the race. So he qualified on one power unit, changed it to a new one for the race, and then the power unit in the race failed, and that one was non-recoverable. And so they thought that the power unit from qualifying could be salvaged. Turns out it's unsalvageable. And so now he has to go to a third power unit, which exceeds the 2 he's been allotted for the season. Ergo, he gets a 10-place grid penalty, and it's just like And it's such a fantastic situation for a team. Like, for a team that had really high expectations, and by judging the memes that I saw on the Formula One subreddits, it kind of seems like this is the MO of Ferrari, that like all through the off season and in testing, everyone's like, oh yeah, Ferrari's going to have a good season. And then when the season rolls around, like the wheels just come off the bus, and like there's always something with Ferrari. But it's humorous.
Well, it gives me a little hope, like pipe dream hope, given the first weekend, because not good for McLaren. But like if Ferrari are going to get off to this stumble start, and all we had was pneumatic issues. Like Piastri had, I forget what, I need to look up what Piastri had. I knew it was something that retired him early.
It was his steering wheel. They had exchanged steering wheels,
okay.
and then it failed to like load. Like the steering wheel stopped, didn't work.
Oh, okay, so it was a safety issue, because he can't operate the car without the steering wheel lighting up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, realistically, he could, but that you're doing it blind.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't want to, as a driver, you wouldn't want to do that going that fast.
Not racing.
Not with any information.
Yeah.
No. But Norris's was just a pneumatic issue. This is just get the right tubes in the right place. It's some air is leaking somewhere.
Yeah.
Just figure that out. Replace the tubes. That's not a production issue from the engine or the power unit. That is just some air leak somewhere that we need to fix. That gives me hope, because Lando, before he had to pit the first time, had pace.
Yeah.
And that's promising that we can possibly finish in front of Ferrari.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
It's wild to me that these things happen to Leclerc and nothing has affected Sainz yet. I kind of wonder if Sainz, if we need to worry about Sainz and like his car, and whether or not like we'll see similar issues crop up from his car.
I wonder this, because this is a deep thought F1 that I'm not going to have an answer to, but like I wonder if Carlos just drives softer. Like I see it. I don't know if that's a thing, because he's not that much slower than Leclerc, but maybe Leclerc just drives the car harder. And maybe that's what causes it.
Apparently, Verstappen had an extra second of speed that he did not like. That like they had him trim. Red Bull was like, "Take it easy.
I mean,
you don't need to be flying."
Yeah, no one believes that Max pushed his car on Sunday.
Right. So what I'm saying is like maybe
there's no need to.
Sainz is doing the same. Maybe Sainz doesn't push his car as hard. I think I might agree with you there.
Oh, okay. I see.
Through parts. That's what I was saying.
I
just correlation.
Okay, I thought you were just like, oh, look how good Max is.
No, there were teams cutting speed, and like as soon as one of your cars goes down, don't you kind of have to make sure that you do get points?
Yeah,
well,
certainly after Leclerc went down, yes, you tell Carlos to take it easy. If you lose a position, fight your position, try to hold it, but take it easy the rest of the race. But that's a unique point, because if Verstappen felt like he had an extra second, you don't want to show that to the rest of the field.
No.
Unless you need it, like you don't want to give that information away. Then that's stuff I love about this. It's like Red Bull's never going to show that card unless they have to.
Yeah, they can. If this car is actually like 2 seconds faster than every other car, we'll never know it.
Then Toto Wolff's are going to be like, "I know they're cheating. I know they're cheating."
Mikey, no, can't do this. All right, that's our F1 update. We'll have.
They're spending too much on catering again.
They are. They're cheating.
Probably.
They're cheating.
You gotta get those wings in there.
All right. We'll have an update on who wins the Saudi Grand Prix. It's going to be Max Verstappen.
Don't waste your time watching it.
Yeah.
Don't watch. I'll give you another one. Sergio's finishing second. There you go. You don't got to watch the race.
All right. Champions League.
Tune in Sunday if you want to find out who finishes third.
Yes. Yes.
So we got the Champions.
Alonso do it again.
Got the Champions League come and gone this weekend. So we have our quarterfinalist. So who would have thought coming into the round of 16 that there would be more Italian teams in the quarterfinals than English teams. Would you have thought that, Sean?
Or Spanish teams?
Well, I mean, it goes in terms of the number of teams. It goes 3 Italian teams, 2 English teams, 1 Spanish, 1 German, 1 Portuguese. That's the breakdown. So we've got Napoli, Inter Milan, AC Milan. We've got Chelsea and Manchester City. We've got Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and Benfica are the 8 teams in the quarterfinals of this year's Champions League. The draw will be on Friday after the Europa League and Conference League matches have had. They'll do all the draws together. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they draw the quarterfinals and then also the semifinals in this draw. So we'll have like the finalized bracket after this week.
Well, the semis are the semis. Like it just flows. Quarterfinals
Yeah, that's
is
what
the
he's
last draw.
That's what he's saying.
Sorry.
They draw.
No.
They draw. They draw the brackets and then draw the sides, so you know who you're playing in the next round.
Yeah. So
they draw the games and then draw those games.
Yeah. So Brad, what I'm saying is that at the round of 16, so they draw the round of 16, and that's it. You could draw the quarterfinals and then just do that. But they add an extra layer to draw like who they pair the quarterfinals.
They put the 4 pairs in a bucket and then draw 2 out, and then the other 2 are the semifinal also.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm with you.
So there won't be another draw after the quarterfinal draw. This is the final draw, and we'll have the path.
Yep.
On
the same page.
As an aside, I just had a thought. Is there any of the big teams, the Madrids, the Cities, the Milans, Chelseas, is there anybody they fear more than Benfica right now?
Napoli.
Yes, Napoli.
Oh, Napoli. I forgot about Napoli. But there's 2 teams right there that the big clubs are like, please don't give me them.
I mean, it's almost like I think
they played the 2 weakest teams.
Well, sure,
that, right?
Sure, but Benfica hasn't lost, if I'm not mistaken.
And Napoli is the highest scoring team in the competition this year.
Bayern doesn't want any part of any of those.
I think Bayern
City doesn't want any part of any of those.
I think the draw, and you're going to take offense to this, but I think the team that everyone wants to draw is Chelsea.
Cool, bring it. Let's go.
And I would agree with that only because you relatively know what to expect from Chelsea.
I'm not scared of that. Let's go.
I mean, Graham Potter has mixed around his formations a little bit, but I feel like they're a little bit more predictable than Napoli. Like the press is really hard to deal with. They're going to press, but it's kind of erratic. The press is always erratic. Like Gegenpress was erratic. It was controlled chaos.
I mean, Napoli's
hard to deal with.
Press.
Napoli's attack is better than Chelsea's attack.
Sure,
easily.
Yeah.
Brad, don't even
right now. Inform right now. I'm agreeing. I said right now.
All right.
I'm agreeing. I said right now.
And also their players are better. Okay. I
guess we'll find out. I don't know if you know this, but if we draw Napoli, it's another written in the stars segment here for you guys.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
How so?
We drew Napoli in the quarterfinals. I don't know if you guys remember that year, but
you don't remember that year, Brad. What are you talking about?
We won the Champions League. How do I not remember? What do you mean? Drogba's header and then penalties? You're absolutely crazy. Actually, no, we played. My bad. I messed up. We played Benfica. My fault. We played Napoli in the round of 16, and we played Benfica.
So what you?
That was. So you want?
I messed it up.
So you want Napoli and then
or Benfica. I don't care. I don't care.
It's written in the stars either way. However it happens, it's whatever happens, it's written in the stars.
It's always written in the stars. That's how we're out.
So that means that if you guys have caught my what I've alluded to, that means that last week AC Milan progressed at the expense of Tottenham Hotspur. So when we recorded our podcast last week, this game hadn't been played yet. When you guys got the news episode, the corresponding news episode last week, the game had been played. So we couldn't have Sean's reaction to it at that point. But it was a 0-0 draw in North London. What are your feelings a week on? Like, was it quite heartbreaking in the moment? Were you disappointed? What just kind of lay it out for me.
It's just frustrating because just like I'm not gonna Will, don't crucify me for this. I am just putting this in terms of how it feels to me, not equating the teams apples to apples. But Spurs are, in my opinion, a better team than Milan. We need to beat the teams that we're better than, just like Sheffield. And I'm not saying that Sheffield and Milan are on the same plane. I'm just saying that they are both, in my eyes, worse than Spurs. So we need to win that game. And sure, if we won the game and didn't win the tie, we went into extra time and then lost, then that's a different story. You lose in extra time, it's a crapshoot at that point. Or penalties, it's a crapshoot at that point. But you got to score a goal at home. You got to make it a game. You got to win the game at home. That's the disappointing part.
Yeah.
Is it's a 0-0 draw. And why is everybody not going all out for 90 minutes? Like, what are we doing?
It's significantly more palatable, in my opinion. There was a couple things that have rolled across Arsenal subreddits and Twitter, like over the course of the last couple weeks, where like Arsenal would like got blown out in the first leg of a Champions League tie, and then like play really well in the second leg, but like just not do enough to quite win it. Like equal it on points, but like have a worse away goal record or something like that. Yeah. And they've gotten rid of the away goals, but whatever. But like, yeah, like. Milan are good. Milan were good, but you kind of expect Tottenham to at least score one goal, right? That's yes, disappointing.
180 minutes, no goals.
I know Romero ended up with a red, and that's probably why the substitution happened. But you're going for the game, and you bring on Davis and Sanchez and take off Kulu.
Yeah, that's 83rd minute. That's a structure thing because
I'm with you.
I don't understand necessarily
you
why.
Also dropped to you just pulled what was it? Did you have Poro? So Davies on the as a left back, and then
just drop to a 4-man back.
Yeah.
Make it work. That's what I would have done.
And Davies, yeah.
You had enough defenders on the pitch to make it work, but that's Conte, right? Like Conte.
Yeah.
Conte wants his back four and midfield to be. I think Conte feels like he, as long as that is stable and that is functioning the way it's supposed to, then the rest can figure itself out. Like you can make up for missing a player in attack, but he doesn't want to have to make up for missing a player in defense.
Well, I can. Okay. I'm starting to see the vision too, because like I said, with the Wolves game and the Forest game, you can see the vision start to play out. The play between the especially the 3 back center backs and the 2 pivots in front of them. The play there, when they have the space to turn, then opens the offense. So it's working that back and forth until you find the pivot, until you find the go.
Yeah,
and Skip and Højbjerg are great at that. At turning and going.
Now I have a question because I don't know if I asked you this yesterday.
Yeah.
That did stop me. Because I find it interesting that both Jose Mourinho and Conte had the same comment about the team. That they're all nice guys, and that you need killers.
Yeah.
How do you go through a year and a half? Was it 2 years? Year and a half ish with Jose. A year and a half with Conte. There's no
because you have
nice guys.
Just because you have a manager, you're not going to change someone's personality. You're not going to change who Heung-Min Son is.
Like that though.
But
that's my question.
First of all, there's not a killer on Chelsea's roster right now, and second of all, we have Romero, who is the most aggressive, probably the most aggressive player. With Xhaka retiring his aggressive coat, he's hung it up. He is probably married and has a kid now. He is not aggressive anymore. 2 kids, exactly.
Two
he is
girls.
Calmed down. He is calmed down.
They might have a third. I don't know.
Between Romero, Dyer's calmed down too. I think he's probably got a kid. But Romero is out here horny, and he's single. And then this man, he will slide into every tackle, feet first. Like that dude is reckless.
Oh man,
he went into Holland in the City game. He went into Holland and got a yellow for it in the other half with Holland facing the other way. It was the most ridiculous yellow of all time. But I was like, that's what we need on the team right there. Just let them know. With Romero on the team, how can you say we don't have a killer?
I don't. I think I think you're looking at this the wrong way though.
He's a nuisance.
Romero hurt you in the Milan tie by getting a sent off. You had 10 minutes left, and that you had to play down a man because Romero went in needlessly to a tackle.
You're right. I'm not going to ignore that. I'm not
Okay.
going to write that off. I'm not. But we need that on the team. We need the edge. We need this tone setter. We need the Bash brothers. Hoiberg can do that too. He just does it smarter.
So I agree with you, but you also have to have discipline, right? So for the last 3 or 4 years, Arsenal have been
Knowing when to do it.
have been labeled as ill discipline, right? Like like people getting red. We had the most red cards over the course of 2 years or something like that.
You went straight from Koscielny into Xhaka.
Yeah. Like so Arsenal were considered ill-disciplined for like 2.5 years, and it wasn't until this year. I don't know if we've had a red card yet this year. I'm gonna touch some wood.
But you had one last year.
Oh, we had at least 2 last year that I can think of. I think
one against us, right?
We had one against
early.
Xhaka was against City early on 3rd match week.
That shouldn't have been a.
No,
that shouldn't have been a yellow.
Martinelli
Or it shouldn't have been a red.
Martinelli got the double yellow single play against Wolves. That was Martinelli made a new record there. I think we had like 3 or 4 red cards.
You definitely had a red in the game in the second tie against us. I don't know if it was a double yellow.
Yeah, that was Rob Holding. Rob Holding, yeah. I remember.
I don't know if it was a second yellow or
it was 2 yellows.
Red.
It was 2 yellows. But that was after Son elbowed Rob Holding like 3 or 4 times and should have already been sent off. Anyway, but I guess that's my point about you need to have edge. You need to if I think about Arsenal this year, players who have edge for Arsenal, certainly Zinchenko. Xhaka still has edge, but there are a lot. Tomiyasu.
He plays physical.
He does play physical, but he's not. I'm never concerned that Tomiyasu is going to get a red card. I'm concerned that Gabriel will. I'm concerned that Zinchenko will. I'm concerned that Xhaka will. But everyone else seems to be pretty low key. But they've never put themselves in a position yet this year where it's like, oh crap, like they're doing some reckless stuff. So like, I hear the nice guy comment, Brad, but people aren't going to change their demeanors over the course of 18 months. These people are grown men. They are who they are. They're not going to, like, if it was a kid coming up through the academy and, like, they're hearing every day Jose say, you need to be stronger, you need to be harsher, maybe you could mold an academy product who's 18, but Harry Kane, who's 27, Heung-min Son, who's 27, Bentancur, Højbjerg, like these players who are established, they know what their brand is, they know they know what their identity is. They're not just going to become hard men all of a sudden. Those are players that you have to acquire.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So my question then would go back to when you say killers and I described one and you said not that kind. What kind of killers are you describing then?
Yeah, that killer instinct that going to get a championship goal, because we know Harry Kane doesn't have that bone in him. Right? Like, I'm just being as real as I can be. Harry Kane is a great goal scorer. But in the big moments, where does Harry Kane go? To the sky.
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
I mean, Harry Kane would. Harry Kane would have a European championship if it wasn't for Harry Kane scored his penalty in the Euros in the Euros championship. If it wasn't for Gareth Southgate
Southgate deciding that
to put
2
3
players
children
who haven't played a single. Yeah, exactly.
3 children at the end,
two of which who haven't played a minute. And then Saka, who's played the 3 minutes he put him on before,
and never taken a professional penalty in his life, in the Euro Championship, if England converts their penalties, Harry Kane isn't labeled a bottler, right? Like a lot of that discourse goes away if either one of Sancho, Rashford, or Saka score their penalty.
Maybe.
I think
he hasn't done it at the club level, has he?
No. But how many opportunities has he had to do it at the club level? Just like the Champions League final?
I'm with you. And that's what I'm saying.
And the League Cup. So
Cup?
that's 2. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I'm not. Look, I don't. I'm not.
He shows up in big games in the league. Like his most scored against team that he's in all of the teams that he's played against is Arsenal.
Yep.
But you need a goal against Milan, and it doesn't happen.
It's a team.
Okay, well, he can't pass himself the ball.
Team sport.
Yeah, he can't pass himself the ball.
I mean, he tries.
He does try.
All right, this is what Brad wants. Brad wants Harry Kane to do some keepy uppies, pass it to himself off the crossbar, and then score an overhead kick. Worldy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
what do you? I don't. He's always in good position. I don't understand what you're saying. Like he can't cross himself the ball.
Can't he?
I don't know.
He needs to have
Maybe.
that. He needs to
Has
have
he
that.
tried that?
He needs to
try
He
it.
needs to have that
You know
dog
what?
in him.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
let me put that on the notes of integrity that I need to email Harry Kane
Yes.
that you need to be able to cross yourself the ball. Work on that this off season.
Score.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
So,
Yes.
Europa League, we've got Manchester United and Real Betis. I think that's from Spain tomorrow. United carry a 4-1 advantage into that match. They should be through. Arsenal and Sporting from London. I guess that's actually today for you guys. When you guys are listening to this, it's today. So later this afternoon, Betis United. That's again, United hold a 4-1 advantage. Arsenal Sporting. That's 2-2 even at the moment. And then in the West Ham AEK Larnaca game in the Conference League, I will give somebody our trivia today is, where is AEK Larnaca?
Did we do this last week?
No,
Yeah,
we
we
didn't. Did we? Okay, where are they?
Yes.
I don't remember.
It's
Crete,
in
Greece.
Oh,
no,
Crete, yeah,
Cyprus.
Crete,
Cyprus.
Yeah,
Cyprus.
it was
Okay,
Crete, yeah,
Cyprus. Okay,
Yeah.
we did do this last week. So West Ham hold a 2-0 advantage in that match. All the English teams in the Europa League and the Conference League are in a good position to advance. Obviously, Arsenal is in the most precarious position because they need to get a victory, and Sporting is the best of the three teams, essentially. Compared to, yeah.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Knowing that you are holding the lead with a firm grip and you are going to make Champions League barring a catastrophic fall, do you row this tie
No,
so that you can coast it home and take the title home?
absolutely not.
They have 72 hours.
I
Just don't play until Sunday.
I want to win the Europa League. I want to win the Premier League. Will I be disappointed if we win the Europa League and finish second in the league? I'll be disappointed, but I'll be very happy that we won the Europa League. Will I be disappointed if we
Lose the championship and
lose-
finish second?
I'll be devastated.
Yeah. So
I'll
go
be-
ahead and just knock it out now. Let Sporting move on.
No.
And just fucking
I was
drive
gonna
it home.
I think
You're
the
out of
problem-
all the cups anyway.
I think the
you're
problem-
out of all the cups.
I
Just
think-
drive it home in the Premier League.
I think more games is actually good for Arsenal at this point. We're getting healthy, and on top of that, it keeps everyone like there's not enough like right now it's we're not focusing on the title. We have another game. Like we have to focus on the next game. I think if the Arsenal team is only thinking about the Premier League, I think it's worse for them. If they look at this and say like all of our eggs are not in that basket. Like we're Arsenal, like we're interested in more than just the Premier League. We want to win the Europa League. I think that helps feed Arteta and his ability to motivate the players.
Also, do you guys really want Chelsea to be the last team standing in Europe this year? Next week's pod? I don't think anybody wants to hear me except for me.
I mean,
no.
United will still be there. Or you mean from like the three of us?
On the podcast, yes. The only London team left in Europe. Oh, West Ham might still be.
It's written in the stars.
Written in the
It's written in
stars.
the stars that we're winning it, but I don't have any preview from the Europa League yet.
Sean, you had an interesting question about this West Ham situation. Oh, sorry, Brad. What was yours? What was your?
Before we go there, I wanted to mention really quickly. Did everybody see Pep protecting Messi's legacy, giving Haaland something to work for?
Yeah, good guy, Pep.
Haaland bangs in 5 goals, and in the 60th minute, Pep pulls him before he could score number 6.
And on top of that,
Time.
Messi's 5 goals were all from open play. Haaland did have a penalty, so there is some nuance here. So Messi might still be the best.
Sure. I mean, yes, he is clearly. Yes. We're not disparaging Messi, but
I
thought it was
am.
funny. Pep was like, let's get
Screw the
get
midget.
Haaland out of here before he gets his 6th goal.
Messi would be nothing without his human
I
growth
don't
hormone.
I don't think Pep thinks about that in the middle of a Man City game.
You know what Pep thinks about?
The game this weekend,
Pep
the FA Cup.
Pep thinks about that one time Julia Roberts shaded Manchester City and went to
Yes.
United. All right, we're moving
That is
on.
his hero.
No,
That is his hero.
we're moving on. So, okay, Sean, you had an interesting question about West Ham. We had a conversation last week
Yeah.
about West Ham, about whether or not they should kind of ship the Conference League and just focus on staying alive. And
Playing a team from Cyprus, they're basically going to the Middle East. I mean, Cyprus is not that far from.
no,
It's not that far from Turkey. Palestine.
Isn't it closer to like Palestine,
It's
Israel than
really close to all of them.
it is Turkey?
It is a trip. I think you guys said a 5-hour flight from London.
Yeah, it is in the Middle East, just as
Yeah.
it's
So
classified as a Middle Eastern country. So
It's just south of Turkey.
So we asked last week, do you go for it in the Conference League or fighting relegation? Do you save it against a Cretan?
Cyprus.
Cyprus, sorry.
Cyprus.
Cypriotian?
What is it?
I'm not going to butcher this anymore. A team from Cyprus. Do you mail it in against a team from Cyprus and then go for it in the league? Well, they went for it in both.
Yep.
And then only came away with 1 point. And that's a fairly, given their position, that's a good result against Villa to get the 1 point. But given where they think they should be, that's a bad result. You don't want to be drawing Villa at home.
Yeah, like
I don't even know if that draw is a good result for them. Like they need 3 points. They're 17.
They need 3 points bad.
Like
I mean,
they need to get out of there.
The good thing for the situation, at least that West Ham find themselves in, is they play on Thursday today, and then they don't play again until after the international break. So like they can go for it in the Conference League, make sure they get the result they need, and they're going to be playing at home.
That even echoes my question. Why didn't you mail it in Thursday to make sure you got it on Sunday?
Like
to just go full bore today, knowing you got 2.5 weeks.
All right. Let's be honest. None of us watched that game last Thursday, so we have no idea how hard they played in it. And it's really just like the travel issue, right? So like they had to fly to Cyprus and then fly home. They probably didn't get back from Cyprus until midday. The question is, did they sleep in Cyprus or did they get on a plane and fly back to London? I would imagine they probably got on a plane and started flying to London. Sleep a little bit on the plane, get home, sleep more, have a late training on Friday, have a light training on Saturday, and then play on Sunday. But like that's the Thursday, Sunday European tie, and then having to go basically all the way to the Middle East and then back. That's difficult. It's not like going to France and then coming home, right? So or like Spain,
especially Northern France.
Yeah, so like it's a hike and a half.
Time zones too. Time zones too. I don't know if that's two
probably,
over there. It's probably two.
At least two. Yeah, would be
at least two.
Would be my guess. So I don't know. I think it's tough to say if they made the right decision last week. But they should go through. They should go through.
If they end up winning Conference League, then I think we can say, yeah, they made the right decision, right? Because you still get European money. Even if you're in the championship, you still get European money.
If they win that, they're in Europa no matter what.
Well, I mean, are they allowed to be? Well, like, so the problem.
Yes.
Well,
unless they get relegated.
Well, like the Premier League and the English Football League, they have to sign off on all of like the paperwork and the admittance and things like that. I don't know what the rules specifically say about whether or not they'll admit a championship team to the European tournaments. That would be okay. I want West Ham to get relegated and them to win just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Now I want to know.
All right.
Sorry, West Ham fans. All right, quick trivia. Who's got quick trivia?
I got it.
All
right. So next week we will give you trivia.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're still listening,
maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, check. We'll do preview trivia. There we go. That's what we'll do this week.
We'll do it maybe at the start of the episode.
Thank you for still listening. If you haven't yet hit the subscribe button, please do so now. Ring the sub notification bell. 5-star review. All those things. The things that we asked you about at the top. do them now. We'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below so that we can talk about them next week. Hit us up on Twitter. That guy is at KSBradG. Down below, it's at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we are at RedCard_Radio. And we'd love to hear from you. Check back tomorrow. We will have a preview of games in Match Week 28 and the FA Cup. We got both competitions this weekend. So until that time, have a good one, and we will see you guys next time.